I greet you in the mighty name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm Dr. Peter Olomode, the President, the Archbishop, Gospel Baptist Conference of Nigeria and overseas. The COVID-19 pandemic situation has given a lot of us concerns, especially since it has affected over 600,000 people all over the world, and over 20,000 people have died by virtue of this. It is not a respecter of person or age. It's affecting all classes and all ages. For this reason, I'm using this opportunity to encourage our people to take the necessary precautions as has been enumerated by the World Health Organization, the Ministry of Health, the federal government, state governments, and Ministry of Health. I will, however, want to put a few clarifications in place. Number one, that God does not gamble with the life of humans. The love of God for humanity has not changed. It remains the same. God loves us, and He does everything to ensure that it is well with us. Psalm 8 verse 4 asked the question. He said, "Who is man that thou art mindful of him? And who is the son of man that thou visited him?" This gives us the understanding of the degree of love and concern that God has for us at all times. And also, verse 6 says that thou hast made him to have dominion over all things. This gives us an understanding that God has given us dominion over everything He has created, including viruses, and dominion over the land. However, there is a spiritual principle which we understand from the book of Job chapter 1 verse 10, that even though God has given a hedge to man to protect him and to ensure that he maintains dominion, man can break the hedge himself, and consequently there could be problems. Isaiah chapter 5 verse 4 to 5 also make us to understand that hedge could be broken. If hedge is broken, then normal things begin to exhibit abnormally. What are the kind of things that can make hedge to be broken? Principally, when the land is desecrated. Land can be desecrated when humans begin to abuse the integrity of humanity. For example, perversive sexual behaviors, men having sexual interaction with animals, or abuse of blood, in the shedding of blood of the innocent, or ingestion of forbidden food, eating of cockroaches, eating of house rats, and so on like that, and eating of certain foods that have already been condemned not to be eaten. And even though it may sound off, but yet it's of great significance, the oppression of the poor. All this can cause an open door that could allow things to begin to happen. I want to give you an example from the book of Psalm 78, verse 45. Psalm 78, verse 45. You will discover that in Egypt, the Lord visited them with diverse kinds of flies. Flies are all known and their behaviors are predictable. But when there is a break in the hedge, then the normal begin to behave abnormal, and pestilence will arise. Jesus Christ has made us to know and understand that when pestilence like this happen, like he cited example in the book of Luke chapter 13, verse 4 and 5, Luke chapter 13, verses 4 and 5, and also verses 2 to 4. He made us to understand that when pestilence happen, it is not because of the affliction of the sinner above the acclaimed righteous, but it is a general and global call to righteousness. It is a call to awaken to righteousness, to examine ourselves and check and be sure that we are doing what we need to do. A problem like this is a multifaceted problem and requires a multifaceted approach. One, I'm going to talk about the physical approach. I will talk about the psychological approach, and then I will talk about the spiritual approach that must be put into consideration at this time. I want to encourage all of you to take the principles of hygiene very seriously, as has been recommended. Number one, ensure you wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 45 seconds. Use the hand sanitizer frequently as may be required. The use of face mask may be necessary if you are attending to the sick or you are near someone that is suspected to have been infected. Avoid general hugging, handshaking, or touching of faces, nose or mouth or eyes. Avoid unnecessary visitations. This is no time to be going around aimlessly. Encourage family members to come together and use this time judiciously. Psychologically, it is a time for the family to bond together, to pray together, to reason together, to show affection and love for one another. It is the time to express bottled up emotions in terms of unforgiveness and to renew the family bond. This will predispose the family to be able to utilize their covenant that God has given to the agreement between two concerning any matter. It is important at this point in time that families should come together, pray together, decree concerning their homes, and it will be established unto them. The spiritual aspect is of great significance. If you look at the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7 from verse 13 to 14. 2 Chronicles chapter 7 from verse 13 to 14. It gives us a leadway. That is, if there is a pestilence, let my people humble themselves. Humility means recognizing that even though God has given man the land, yet God rules in the affairs of men. Beyond the efforts we are making, the Bible makes it clear that the laborers labor in vain unless the Lord builds the house. It is time for us to cry unto the Lord despite our efforts and ask God to intervene in our situation. Let every man begin to call upon the name of the Lord. If my people will humble themselves, I will heal their land. Yes, the Bible recognizes it is our land. And whatever we do to the land will determine what comes out of it. Coronavirus has been in existence even before now. But now there is an epidemic of a strange strain. I believe that if the people of God will begin to pray and will humble themselves and flee from righteousness flee from the oppression of the poor, flee from illicit sex. Our land will be sanctified again, and we'll be able to gain back the health of our people. I believe, just like the book of Numbers chapter 31 verse 49 says, that at the end of it all, none of the children of God were missing at the end of the battle. I am giving you this assurance, at the end of it all, you will stand with me and we give a general thanksgiving unto the Lord. God bless you. Stay healthy, stay spiritual, and be rapturable. God bless you.